All right, how's it going? Welcome back, another SLG meetup. My name is Alvaro, and we're gonna have another super amazing guest. Her name is Katya Zenkovich, and she's the partner at Knight Frank Private Office in London, where she specializes on giving excellent advice when it comes to high net worth individual, when it comes to all the international properties. So she's gonna be giving great insights on the latest trends in luxury real estate in London, and also how she sees this whole thing moving forward. So she's coming all the way from Russia to London. She's been there for over 20 years. I mean, over 15 years plus in the luxury real estate, and now 7 years in Knight Frank. So she's gonna be an amazing guest. Lots of things to be sharing. Katya, you're a machine, superstar. From Russia all the way to London, you've been killing in the game of luxury real estate. Of course, for you, things are gonna be going well. You're a go-getter. So very excited to have you here today. And
Thank you.
As you mentioned, market is quite busy for what it seemed to be at the beginning. So I just want to know first a little bit more about your story. How did you end up moving from Russia to London, building such a legacy when it comes to luxury real estate? And you've become a reference for everybody in the space of luxury real estate. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, thank you. That's a lot of compliments in one sentence. I came to the UK about 20 years ago. I was actually trained in marketing and advertising. So I ended up here working for one of the big international advertising networks. But as my career progressed, I became a freelancer, and it sort of opened up, I guess, the time for other opportunities. And growing up in Moscow, perhaps generationally and otherwise, I was one of the first people who ended up in the West. So a lot of my friends and now very successful businessmen have sort of naturally gravitated towards me, asking questions about purchasing real estate, opening bank accounts abroad. It was the 90s. So it was when Russia first got an opportunity to take the wealth abroad. And naturally, sort of, I've opened a small boutique, a family office, helping these people to bring their ideas and wishes to life. And that put me in touch with specifically some of the big real estate agencies like Knight Frank. So they've been watching me, and the times were changing. You know, the times of brokers who just work for commission, do a deal and move on, have kind of run out, I think. I was traditionally, even in marketing, taught that the main aspect of the best sort of service is client relationship. So Knight Frank had this idea of creating a team of brokers or real estate agents that actually are holding the hands of our buyers.
Very important.
Absolutely, and do everything for them beyond a simple one-off transaction. So that's what sort of, I completely agreed with the ethos, and it was a natural step, I guess, for my sort of more or less small family office to join a large firm with, you know, I think we have 1/3 of world billionaires on our books. So, you know, it's sort of, it happened for me, if you wish.
And you definitely have been doing amazing. So I'm very glad that you're going to be sharing with us what's going on in the market, because I know there is a few properties that really are standing out, very well demanded. So I'll be putting them up here in a moment. But for now, you know, with everything that is going on, I got to say one thing. You know, my business partner is actually from Russia. So there is one thing that I know to say for sure. Давай, давай. Always, let's go. Always, come on, especially now, you have to keep going. There is nothing like relaxing. You need to push forward, and as you said, give the best advice, add value, and that's how you're really gonna move forward. Tell me a little bit, like, how do you see currently the market in London? I mean, you mentioned a little bit about it, but what are the current trends that you see the most?
Well, I think that the papers sort of during the beginning of the pandemic and perhaps when we first came out of lockdown in May were predicting quite a painfully sad picture. In actual fact, as I understand it, not just in London, but New York has experienced the same boom. Of course, market has been affected, and the limitations in travel have also affected the market. We are predominantly 60% of the buyers that we're dealing with at the moment are British. But at the same time, I think these 2-3 months that people have spent in their properties have made them think and reevaluate their balance of lifestyle and work, and also their living conditions. And so unsurprisingly, a lot of my buyers who have spent lockdown in fancy super luxury apartments after the COVID lockdown have decided to buy a secondary property somewhere with a bigger garden, perhaps somebody in the countryside. And I think that sort of ability to have access to outdoors is holding a huge premium at the moment. And that's why I think, unsurprisingly, the market has shifted from perhaps the penthouses to the houses, and also the country market is booming as well.
That's true. You just mentioned it there. The visionaries, the ones that see now the opportunity to actually invest. And, you know, real estate has been there forever. It's still going to be there. It's a great investment when it comes to where to put or allocate your funds when it comes to your portfolio. And those that have those funds are looking towards the best, because right now also the prices are very appealing. I'm going to be pulling up here a few of the properties, because you were telling me about this one right here, the Regent's Crescent. Like, that one is amazing. Yeah. I want to put just the exterior just to give a visual, but the asking price is starting around 7-8 million pounds, right?
That's correct. But this is a really great example of traditional English architecture. It is a Nash building, so it has a lot of curb appeal. It's also overlooking the Regent's Park. As you can see in the communal gardens up front, there is a lot of private area, outdoor private area that is available to the residents. Underneath that greenery is a 5-star luxury spa. And generally, this complex kind of gives you the true sense of Britishness with the very 21st century sort of level of service and all of the attributes that most of our high net worth buyers would like, including the valet parking, including the gym spot, cinema room. And what's also quite nice, that building, although is completely connected throughout the building, it also has its own front door. So it's a lovely combination of what looks like the townhouse kind of frontage with actually completely new amenities inside.
Perfect mix. It's like a mix of everything, you know, history and what people are looking for on the countryside. Like, it gives that environment of niceness, you know. I really love this one. But then there is another one that, if we talk about super luxury, you know, the next level, it's my favorite one, the 20 Grosvenor Square. I mean, those are asking starting 17 million pounds. So I'm gonna pull up here the entrance, so maybe we can walk through maybe this virtual kind of tour where you can kind of take us through it, because what is so unique about this building?
A number of things. There aren't that many buildings in London that are hotel service departments, and this is only one of the 3 buildings that are currently available to anybody who wants to invest in London. This is serviced by Four Seasons, and this has also been built by one of the best developers in town, Finch Hatton, and it is sitting at the very heart of Mayfair, and Mayfair being probably the sort of the most prestigious address in London, has not had that many developments in the recent years. And so suddenly this one came along, and it's perhaps, you know, as known now, or certainly will become a kind of address that people are going to be talking about, because we've had One Hyde Park with the Mandarin services before, and for a very long time it was the sort of #1 perhaps a luxury development. This is probably will overtake it, but certainly in terms of quality services is totally on par. And this one is smaller. It's only 24 apartments, and it's a real, what I'd like to call a billionaires club, because the smallest apartment in this development was a 2-bedroom, a very generous 2-bedroom suite, but the starting price was 12 million pounds. So as you can imagine, your neighbors aren't going to be strangers. I think a lot of them are in the public eye, and So security is paramount. As I said, the quality of service is unique. The spa is luxurious. It has been developed in sort of combination with consultancy of different private trainers and Olympian champions, and the swimming pool is the largest in Mayfair. So I think these guys have set themselves up to be number one in everything and very much achieved that ask. In addition, I think they
set
also
up the bar really high.
They have, and what's really interesting, they sort of realize that it's not just the address, it's also lifestyle. So if you're a buyer in that place, then you get a free membership to some of the very, very private London clubs like Annabelle's or 5 Hereford Street, yeah, where typically you wouldn't be able to join without a recommendation of existing members. So it's a nice, tipping point for anyone who would like to walk into that residence and feel at home in London, even though they might not have had a previous exposure to it.
I really like one thing you mentioned about the lifestyle, because every building now is focusing more on that term of giving the whole experience, that lifestyle that the high-end customer is looking for. And that's where the amenities fall into place, the experience of the concierge services. And there is one thing that I always like to ask, and I want to know what you say about this. What is really luxury to you?
Oh, a lot of the time, luxury to me is time. And I think some of my clients would agree with me as well. I think I'm not saying that people have completely stopped building for themselves, but I think appreciation of time that we have, especially later in life, is such that a lot of my buyers look at the properties like this, which are turnkey, exactly because they value the opportunity to walk in with a toothbrush and put their suitcase there a lot more than economies of developing their own property and perhaps having, a bit more of an investment appreciation because time is everything. And certainly in my job, I would say, that is a paramount thing, because to find the balance where you are, like me, enjoying your job but giving 100% to your clients, and at the same having the balance of my personal life and family, sometimes a very difficult kind of conundrum to solve.
Really love London with the way it's presented, and the properties that you focus on are spectacular. They're fantastic. And for those that are looking for higher investment and they're looking into London, what will be your recommendation?
I think London is a very interesting investment market, just because I think there is going to be less and less opportunities of this sort of ilk in the coming years. There's less developments happening overall. So when clients come to me with quite large requests, sort of 5,000 square feet and more, I really sometimes struggle to find them flats, and especially a lot of people like the lateral spaces in prime central London. So I would say, if you're definitely looking to invest in London at this sort of top end level, today is a good time to do so.
Definitely. So if somebody's looking to invest, and obviously they need the help of the expert of Katya, because you are the machine superstar in London, where can they find you, or how can they reach out to you?
I am on Instagram, so Katya Z is my short name. But also, if they search private office at Knight Frank, I think they will find me quite easily. We're a team of people. We don't just cover London, we cover the world. We very much work on the model that, we're the relationships people with the high net worths. And within Knight Frank, we've got fantastic teams that cover all aspects of property markets. It's a limitless really kind of resource at Knight Frank, and so whatever the requirement of the client is, I can always find within our structure somebody who will have a first-hand experience of that.
So Katya, as always, pleasure to have you here today. I hope to see you soon in Miami.
Absolutely, I'm there. As long as the planes are flying, I will be there in December, January.
Lovely. Would like to see that.
Thank you so much.
Katya, take care, okay? Have a beautiful day.
And you, Alvaro, take care. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That's Katya. Davai. Russian friend from London. She's a superstar. And I think that what she was saying is so true. there is so many moments to invest, and right now is one of them. So anybody looking to get into luxury real estate in London, you can reach out to her directly. You can let us know as well. Happy to connect you. And again, have a beautiful day and keep beautiful success in life. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.